It's time now for business. We say hello to Kate Moody.
Hey, Francois.
Budget day in the UK with more spending and the prospect of more debt worrying fiscal hawks.
Yes, and the Chancellor of the Exchequer actually addressed those questions. You know, for months we've been hearing governments around the world sort of pushing that question down the line. He did outline some questions about how the country will begin paying back its steadily mounting public debt. As the UK eases its lockdown restrictions, the government says its vaccine rollout will bring an economic recovery some 6 months earlier than initially forecast. British GDP now expected to grow around 4% this year. Luke Shrego has more.
The United Kingdom's finance minister said he'd do whatever it took. And in the face of 700,000 job losses and the deepest contraction in the economy in 300 years, Rishi Sunak has prolonged coronavirus support measures.
The furlough scheme will be extended until the end of September. For employees, there will be no change to the terms. They will continue to receive 80% of their salary for hours not worked until the scheme ends.
The UK has charted a course out of lockdown over the next several months and ultimately intends for businesses to begin paying their employees up to 10 and 20% in August and September, alongside government aid. However, the UK's emergency support package currently stands at €471 billion, with questions from some quarters over how public debt will be paid back. To help fund it, Sunak's announced a reverse in trend over the nation's corporate tax for the first time in years.
In 2023, the rate of corporation tax paid on company profits will increase to 25%. Even after this change, the United Kingdom will still have the lowest corporation tax rate in the G7.
Tax on company profits currently stands at 19%, though the finance minister sweetened the deal, exempting small businesses and incentivising investment from larger firms in new equipment that they'll be able to offset against the new tax.
Well, the European Commission is also setting the stage for more financial support. It's recommended that a freeze on public spending limits be extended until the end of 2022, which will allow governments to continue propping up businesses and households. The proposal will have to be approved by EU member states, and it could face opposition from the likes of Denmark and the Netherlands. But the EU's Economic Affairs Commissioner argued that additional fiscal support will be needed for at least the medium term. Take a listen.
Today, the Commission states clearly that pulling back support too quickly would be a policy mistake. The best way to secure public debt sustainability, the best way to reduce the risk of scarring and economic divergence is now to support the recovery.
Let's check in on the day's trading action now. Mostly higher close for the major European indices. Just Milan closing in the red. Gains of about 1/3 of a percentage point in Paris and Frankfurt. German stocks hit a new record high earlier in the session. The FTSE 100 in London up nearly 1%. UK businesses rallying there as the government promised more financial aid. Wall Street is mixed. Tech stocks are dragging the Nasdaq down over 1.25% this hour. The Dow Jones just slightly above the flat line there. Shares of airlines and cruise companies are higher on optimism about the vaccine rollout in the United States. Well, the travel industry is hoping its business will pick up soon. And as traditional airlines in the U.S. cut back operations amid massive losses, lesser-known budget carriers are waiting in the wings to snatch up some of their market share. Cami Nedlek has the story.
The travel industry may be grounded, but low-cost airlines could be about to take off in a big way. American budget carriers have just a 10% share of the US market, but analysts expect that to double this year alone. As larger firms shrink to cut costs, budget airlines are expanding their routes and taking delivery of new jets that can fly coast to coast. Until now, longer domestic flights were dominated by traditional carriers.
The budget airlines tend to fly nonstop from wherever they start to whatever that end destination is. It's easier for these budget airlines sometimes to add and drop flights because they don't have to worry about the implications of what an addition does to a hub. It's simply, what does this route do from A to B for our profitability?
The added competition could force larger carriers to slash prices at a time when every penny counts. Spirit, Frontier and Allegiant are all hiring, And Allegiant even says that although it qualifies for coronavirus relief from the US government, it can manage without it. This, as American Airlines could furlough some 13,000 employees. In 2019, it hired almost 1,000 pilots. The disruptive effect of low-cost airlines has been felt in Europe for years. But thanks to the coronavirus pandemic, the scales may now also be tipped in favour of low-cost travel stateside.
A possible flavour of things to come there, Francois.
All right, so we'll see if life gets back to normal in the sporting world as well, Kate Moody.